So, Hare Krishna, everybody, welcome. We're going to start chapter 29 today of the third canto. Ananda Leela.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Great.
Hare Krishna to all devotees.
Thank you.
Shri Nityananda Chandram Patita Sharanadam Gauradam Tam Bhajeham Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shirvasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudiraye nasta praesva bhadresu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 29. Explanation of devotional service by Lord Kapila. Devahutiruvacha Lakshanam mahad adinam prakritehi purusasya cha swarupam lakshate misham yena tat paramarthikam yatha sankhye sukathitam yanmulam tat prachakshate bhakti yogasya me margam bruhi vishtarasah prabho.
Devahuti inquired, "My dear Lord, you have already very scientifically described symptoms of the total material nature and the characteristics of the spirit according to the Sankhya system of philosophy. Now I shall request you to explain the path of devotional service, which is the ultimate end of all philosophical systems."
Virago hina purusho bhagavan sarvato bhavet achakshva jivalokasya vividha mama samsritihi.
Devahuti continued, "My dear Lord, please also describe in detail, both for me and for people in general, the continual process of birth and death. For by hearing of such calamities, we may become detached from the activities of this material world."
Oh, sorry.
Kalasyeswara rupasya paresham cha parashyate swarupam bata kurvanti yadhetoh kushalam janah.
Please also describe eternal time, which is a representation of your form, and by whose influence people in general engage in the performance of pious activities.
Lokasya mithyabhimaterachakshushash chiram prasuptasya tamasya nasre shantasya karmasvanuvithaya dhiya tvamma virashihi kila yoga bhashkaraha.
My dear Lord, you are just like the sun, for you illuminate the darkness of the conditional life of the living entities. Because their eyes of knowledge are not open, they are sleeping eternally in the darkness without your shelter, and therefore they are falsely engaged by the actions and reactions of their material activities, and they appear to be very fatigued.
मैत्रेय उवाच इति मातुर्वचः श्लक्ष्णम् प्रतिनन्द्य महामुनिः आबभासे कुरु श्रेष्ठ प्रीतस्तां करुणार्दितः.
Sri Maitreya said, O best among the Kurus, the great sage Kapila, moved by great compassion and pleased by the words of his glorious mother, spoke as follows.
श्रीभगवानुवाच भक्तियोगो बहुविधो मार्गैर्भामिनि भाव्यते स्वभावगुणमार्गेण पुंसां भावो विभिद्यते.
Lord Kapila, the personality of Godhead, replied, O noble lady, there are multifarious paths of devotional service in terms of different qualities of the executor.
अभिसन्धाय यो हिंसां दम्भं मात्सर्यमेव वा समरम्भि भिन्न दृग्भावं मयि कुर्यात् स तामसः.
Devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent, and angry, and who is a separatist, is considered to be in the mode of darkness.
विषयान् अभिसन्धाय यश ऐश्वर्यमेव वा अर्चादावर्चयेद्यो मां पृथग् भावः स राजसः.
The worship of deities in the temple by a separatist with a motive for material enjoyment, fame, and opulence is devotion in the mode of passion.
कर्मनिर्हारम् उद्दिश्य परस्मिन् वा तदर्पणम् यजेत् यष्टव्यमित्येवा पृथक् भावः स सात्विकः.
When a devotee worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offers the results of his activities in order to free himself from the inebriaties of fruitive activities, his devotion is in the mode of goodness.
Excellent. Thank you. So we can go to the summary. And Surinder Prabhu, over to you.
Hare Krishna. Sorry for this delay. This computer just shut down suddenly. Anyhow,
Right.
yeah. So we are back here. So it's Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 29. Chapter 29, explanation of devotional service by Lord Kapila Dev, and devotional service in the modes, verses 1 to 10. So first of all, my Dandavat Pranam to all the Vaishnavas, and Hare Krishna, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. So having heard about Sankhya, chapter 26 and 27, and Yoga, chapter 28, Devahuti inquires about Bhakti. In reply, Kapila first describes the three types of devotional service in the modes: ignorance, intentions of envy, pride, anger, violence, devoid of compassion, and the mode of passion, desire for material enjoyment, fame, wealth, so desire for objects, not the Lord. And then goodness, desire to become free from karma, offers desires for liberation. Yeah, so yes, this is very instructive. And in Brahma Samhita, it is explained as follows. Yam krodha kama sahaja pranaya vibhiti vatsalya moha grugaura sevya bhavai sanchintya tasya sadishim tanu purete govinda vari purusham tamaham bhajami. Means those who cultivated their thoughts of him, that is Krishna, with anger, amour, natural friendship, fear, parenthood, delusion, reverence, and servitorship, attain to bodies of a form of and nature appropriate to the mood of their meditation. I worship that primeval Lord Govinda. So our Guru Varga have always directed us that we need to try to move forward in our Krishna consciousness towards practicing Shuddha Bhakti, and therefore it should be free from anger, pride, violence, etc. And we understand like there are different levels of devotees, and whatever levels of devotees they may have envy, pride, anger, violence, still they are Vaishnavas, so we offer our Dandavat Pranam to them as well. We should not at all become disrespectful at any time to any form of Vaishnava, any level of Vaishnava. Sometimes we cannot jump into conclusion just by one odd episode of certain behavior. Just like in Srimad Bhagavatam, King Parishit, he put a dead snake around the neck of a great sage, and then Shringi cursed him. So we should become like Shringi and start cursing devotees. Rather, we should have compassion, empathy, and understanding through the Shastra Chakshu, through the eyes of the scriptures and sadhus and our Gurudev, and our heart disposition favorably towards Krishna consciousness. We should offer our Dandavat Pranam to all the Vaishnavas. As the saying goes, the safe platform is Vishwambhara Vishwara Kalyana. If you are in this mood of offering prayer like Vishwambhara Gauranga Prabhu will bestow his mercy and bring auspiciousness in the lives of one and all, to all the devotees and to all the public people and living entities, the trees and animals as well. So in this way, it is safe for us in our Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, Nitai Gaur Hari.
Thank you. Very good. Yes. Up to text 20 now.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Madguna Shruti Matrena Mai Sarva Guhasaye Manogatir Avvicchinna Yatha Gangam Bhasumbudho Lakshanam Bhakti Yogasya Nirgunasya Hi Udharhitam Ahetuki Avyavahita Ya Bhakti Purushottame.
The manifestation of unadulterated devotional service is exhibited when one's mind is at once attracted to hearing the transcendental name and qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is residing in everyone's heart. Just as the water of the Ganges flows naturally down towards the ocean, such devotional ecstasy, uninterrupted by any material condition, flows towards the Supreme Lord.
Salokya sarvistim samipya sarupye kadvam api uta diyamanam na grihnanti vinamat sevanam janah.
A pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation. Shalokya, Sarste, Samipya, Sarupya, or Ekatva, even though they are offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
This is a classic verse which shows the nature of the devotee, and it's quoted many, many times. It's looking at the amazing nature of the devotees. They won't accept anything from the Lord. They just want to serve the Lord. What an amazing, selfless attitude. Sorry.
Sa eva bhakti yogakhya atyantika udharitaha yenati vrajyatri gunam madbhavayopapadyate.
By attaining the highest platform of devotional service, as I have explained, one can overcome the influence of three modes of material nature and be situated in the transcendental stage, as is the Lord.
निसेवितेनानिमितेन स्वधर्मेण महीयसा क्रियायोगेन सस्तेन नातिहिंस्रेण नित्यसः.
A devotee must execute his prescribed duties, which are glorious, without material profit. Without excessive violence, one should regularly perform one's devotional activities.
मध्यस्न्यदर्शनस्पर्श पूजास्तुति अभिवन्दनैः भूतेषु मद्भावनया सत्त्वेन सङ्गमेन च.
The devotee should regularly see my statues in the temple, touch my lotus feet, and offer worshipable paraphernalia and prayer. He should see in the spirit of renunciation, from the mode of goodness, and see every living entity as spiritual.
महतां बहुमानेन दीनानाम् अनुकम्पया मैत्र्या चैत्पात्मतुल्येषु यमेन नियमेन च.
The pure devotee should execute devotional service by giving the greatest respect to the spiritual master and the acharyas. He should be compassionate to the poor and make friendship with persons who are his equals. But all his activities should be executed under regulation and with control of the senses.
आध्यात्मिकानुश्रवणान् नाम संकीर्तनाच्च मे आर्जवेणार्य संगेन निरहङ्क्रियया तथा.
The devotee should always strive to hear about spiritual matters and should always utilize his time in chanting the holy name of the Lord. His behavior should always be straightforward and simple, and although he is not envious but friendly to everyone, he should avoid the company of persons who are not spiritually advanced.
मद्धर्मणो गुणैरेतैः परिसंशुद्ध आशयः पुरुषशाञ्जशाभेति शुद्धमात्र गुणं हिमाम्.
When one is fully qualified with all these transcendental attributes and his consciousness is thus completely purified, he is immediately attracted simply by hearing my name or hearing of my transcendental quality.
यथा वातरथो घ्राणम् आवृङ्क्ते गन्ध आशयात् एवं योगरतं चेत आत्मानं विकार्यत्.
As the chariot of air carries an aroma from its source and immediately catches the sense of smell, similarly, one who constantly engages in devotional service in Krishna consciousness can catch the Supreme Soul, who is equally present everywhere.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry for my coughs, bro.
No, it's okay. No problem.
Oh.
Thank you. Good effort.
Hare Krishna. So pure devotional service beyond the three modes, verses 11 to 20. Some of the qualities of a devotee already mentioned in chapter 25 are mentioned here as well. Devotees practicing pure devotional service are transcendental to the modes. They're naturally attracted to hear about Krishna and disinterested in liberation. They do not even accept spiritual benedictions, what to speak of material things. Dutifully performing the activities of devotional service, they treat everyone respectfully and kindly. A devotee who constantly engages in devotional service can catch the Lord just as fragrant air catches the sense of smell. Yes, so there's a few considerations. So the practice of finding faults in others must be abandoned. To pointlessly judge others is a defect, and therefore such a practice must be abandoned. O Uddhava, you should neither praise nor abuse the nature and actions of others, because you will become preoccupied with falsehood, and your best self-interest will be lost. This is a verse from Prapanajamnamritam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead mentioned this to Uddhava. And there's another verse now. It says like eagerness to attain to the bliss of Brahman must be known as unfavorable to devotion. O Guru of the universe, now that I can directly behold your divine form, I reside within the ocean of pure ecstasy, and all other pleasures, including the bliss of merging with Brahman, appear as insignificant as the water in a cow's hoofprint. This verse was spoken by Srila Prahlad Maharaj from Juramritam, yes. And now this verse follows. The mentality of considering mundane objects to be conscious elements is unfavorable. One who considers his gross body to be himself, but does not identify himself with the devotee of the Lord, who considers wife, family, and associated paraphernalia to be his possessions, yet does not feel affection or attachment for the devotee of the Lord, who considers a graven image of earth or other substance to be God, yet does not conceive of the worshipable position of a devotee of the Lord, who considers some river or lake to be a holy place of pilgrimage, yet does not perceive a devotee of the Lord to be the abode of divinity incarnate. Such a person is an ass among cows, a colossal fool. This verse was spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is quoted from Sri Sri Prapanajamritam. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Oh, thank you. So now it's up to 25. And this 11 verses were amazing because Kapil Dev really does, it doesn't mince his words, and he clearly explains what is pure devotional service. And he continues now about daily worship. So please carry on.
Aham sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatmaavastitah sada tam avajnaya mamarchah kurutircha vidambanam.
I am present in every living entity as the Supersoul. If someone neglects us or disregards that Supersoul everywhere and engages himself in the worship of the deity in the temple, that is simply imitation.
So very important, very important.
Yo mam sarveshu bhuteshu santam atmanamishwaram hedvarcham bhajate modhyat bhashmani eva juhoti saha.
One who worships the deity of Godhead in the temples but does not know that the Supreme Lord, as Paramatma, is situated in every living entity's heart must be in ignorance and is compared to one who offers oblations into ashes.
Dvisatah parakaye mam manino bhinna darshinaha bhuteshu baddha vairasya namanah santim richati.
One who offers me respect but is envious of the bodies of others and is therefore a separatist never attains peace of mind because of his inimical behavior towards other living entities.
Aham uchchavacher dravyeh क्रियायोत्पन्नाया नघे नैव तुष्येर्चितोरिच्छायां भूतग्रामावमानिनः.
My dear mother, even if he worships with proper rituals and paraphernalia, a person who is ignorant of my presence in all living entities never pleases me by my worship of my deities in the temple.
Mm.
अर्षादाव अर्चये तावद् ईश्वरं मां स्वकर्म कृत् यावन्न विद्द स्वहृदि सर्वभूतेष्वस्थितम्.
Performing his prescribed duties, one should worship the deity of the Supreme Personality of Godhead until one realizes my presence in his own heart and in the hearts of other living entities as well.
Good, good. How important it is to respect everyone. Okay. Oops, sorry. Wrong place. Okay.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, deity worship to avoid obstacles in devotional service, verses 21 to 25. One should worship the Lord's deity until one realizes his presence in one's own heart and that of others. Deity worship performed by those who disrespect or hate other living entities, not seeing the Lord in their hearts, is not pleasing to the Lord. Yes, Rupa Goswami, His Divine Grace Rupa Goswami has explained, summarized the 5 main devotional activities, namely hearing, chanting Hare Krishna, and reading scriptures, and deity worship,
Mm.
and sadhu sangha, association with the devotees, service to devotees, and residing in a transcendental abode, like a place of pilgrimage, or means we should be always Krishna conscious anywhere, everywhere. So deity worship is mentioned, so we should engage in deity worship without. But while engaging in devotional service in the service to the deities, and then on top of that, if we become disrespectful to other living entities, to other people, the guests who come to the temple, or we become disrespectful to the other devotees, and we ignore the fact that in everyone's heart reside the partial expansion of Sri Krishna in the form of Paramatma. Therefore, we will not be pleased, we will not be able to please the Lord. So we should perform devotional service, deity worship, at the same time chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and offer respects and service to other Vaishnavas, and be respectful to all other persons, like the guests and people in general. In this way, we should progress in our Krishna consciousness. Nitai Gaur Hari.
Thank you. Yes. Up to 35 now.
आत्मनश्च परस्यापि यः करोति अन्दरोदरम् तस्य भिन्नदृशो मृत्युर्विद्धते भयमुल्बनम्.
As the blazing fire of death, I cause great fear to whoever makes the least discrimination between himself and other living entities because of a differential outlook.
अथ मां सर्वभूतेषु भूतात्मानं कृतालयम् अर्हये दानमानाभ्यां मैत्र्याभिन्नेन चक्षुषा.
Therefore, through charitable gifts and attention, as well as through friendly behavior, and by viewing all to be alike, one should propitiate me, who abide in all creatures as their very self.
जीवः श्रेष्ठा हि जीवानां ततः प्राणभृतः शुभे ततः सचित्तः प्रवरास् ततश्चेन्द्रियवृत्तयः.
Living entities are superior to inanimate objects, O blessed Mother, and among them, living entities who display life symptoms are better. Animals with developed consciousness are better than them, and better still are those who have developed sense perception.
तत्रापि स्पर्शवेदिभ्यः प्रवरारसवेदिनः तेभ्यो गन्धविदः श्रेष्ठास् ततः शब्दविदो वराः.
Among the living entities who have developed sense perception, those who have developed the sense of taste are better than those who have developed only the sense of touch. Better than them are those who have developed the sense of smell, and better still are those who have developed the sense of hearing.
रूपभेदविदस्तत्र ततश्चोभयतो दतः तेषां बहुपदः श्रेष्ठास् चतुष्पादस्ततो द्विपात्.
Better than those living entities who can perceive sound are those who can distinguish between one form and another. Better than them are those who have developed upper and lower sets of teeth, and better still are those who have many legs. Better than them are the quadrupeds, and better still are the human beings.
ततो वर्णाश्च चत्वारस् तेषां ब्राह्मण उत्तमः ब्राह्मणेष्वपि वेदज्ञो हि अर्थज्ञोऽभ्यधिकस्ततः.
Among human beings, the society which is divided according to quality and work is best. And in that society, the intelligent men who are designated as Brahmanas are best. Among the Brahmanas, one who has studied the Vedas is the best. And among the Brahmanas who have studied the Vedas, one who knows the actual purport of Veda is the best.
अर्थज्ञात् संशयच्चेत्ता ततः श्रेयान् स्वकर्मकृत् मुक्तसङ्गस्ततो भूयान् अदोग्धा धर्मम् आत्मनः.
Better than the Brahmana who knows the purpose of the Vedas is he who can dissipate all doubts, and better than him is one who strictly follows the Brahmical principles. Better than him is one who is liberated from all material contamination, and better than him is a pure devotee who executes devotional service without expectation of reward.
तस्मान्मयि अर्पिता शेषा क्रियार्थात्मा निरन्तरः मयि अर्पितात्मनः पुंसो मयि सन्न्यस्तकर्मणः न पश्यामि परं भूतम् अकर्तुः समदर्शनात्.
Therefore, I do not find a greater person than he who has no interest outside of mine, and who therefore engages and dedicates all his activities and all his life, everything unto me without cessation.
मनसैतानि भूतानि परमेद् बहुमानयन् ईश्वरो जीवकलया प्रविष्टो भगवानिति.
Such a perfect devotee offers respect to every living entity because he is under the firm conviction that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has entered the body of every living entity as the Supersoul or controller.
Bhakti yogascha maya manavi udiritaha yayor ekatarenaiva purushah purusham rajet.
My dear mother, O daughter of Manu, a devotee who applies the science of devotional service and mystic yoga in this way can achieve the abode of the Supreme Person simply by that devotional service.
So, equally respectful to all. This is verses 26 to 35. To please the Lord in everyone's heart, one should behave properly and respect all living entity as equal. In the form of death, the Lord gives fear to those who sees differences between themselves and other living beings. Proper behavior can be achieved by charity, respect, friendly behavior, and equal vision. But having equal vision doesn't mean that the devotee loses discrimination based on gradations in the jivas. One should understand the various grades of bodies from basic organisms through the animals up to human beings. Amongst the many grades of humans, the Lord's pure devotee is the best. Fantastic, yes. So, a few things to remember. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, entitled Devotional Service, Lord Krishna mentions that our like a devotee should not cause distress to others and should not be disturbed by others. And such a devotee is very dear to Lord Shri Krishna. It's explained in Bhagavad Gita. And also we have to understand the different gradations of living entities and got to the point culminating to the pure devotees. Therefore, we have to be very, very careful not to commit Vaishnava aparadh. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Haridas Thakur has explained the concept of achar prachar. The devotees who do achar, they practice Krishna consciousness nicely, but they may not do prachar properly, that preach Krishna consciousness very expertly. And the other hand, there may be devotees who are preaching very expertly, but they may be a bit deficient in their proper behavior, achar, that is Vaishnava sadachar. So in this way, we have to understand, and by the grace of Srila Haridas Thakur, we beg and pray to properly practice achar and prachar in our Krishna consciousness. And also in Nectar Instruction, Srila Rupa Goswami Maharaj has explained the dealings among devotees is like we offer gifts, accept gifts, offer food and accept food, and reveal our mind in confidence and inquire confidentially. These loving dealings among devotees, and also in general way, we should have a friendly disposition toward other people, living entities, even the trees and animals. Hare Krishna, Nitai Gaur Hare. Thank you. We can't hear you, Prabhu. We're unable to hear you.
Thank you. Thank you. So actually, I like what you said about what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said about some can preach nicely and not practice, and some can practice nicely, not preach nicely. And then he said to Haridas Thakur, you can do both. You preach nicely and you practice nicely. Such a compliment. So, okay, right up to the end now.
एतद् भगवतो रूपं ब्रह्मणः परमात्मनः Param pradhanam purusham devam karma vicheshtitam.
This Purusha, whom the individual soul must approach, is the eternal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Brahman and Paramatma. He is the transcendental chief personality, and his activities are all spiritual.
Rupa bhedaspadam divyam kala ityabhidhiyate bhutanam mahadadinam yato bhinna drisham bhayam.
The time factor who causes the transformation of the various material manifestations is another feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anyone who does not know that time is the same Supreme Personality is afraid of the time factor.
Mm.
Yontah pravishya bhutani bhuterati akhilashrayaha savishnavakhyo dhiyanyoso kalah kalayatam prabhu.
Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the enjoyer of all sacrifices, is the time factor and the master of all masters. He enters everyone's heart, he is the support of everyone, and he causes every being to be annihilated by another.
You muted, yeah.
न चाशा कश्चिद्दयितो न द्वेष्यो न च बान्धवः आविशति अप्रमत्तोऽसौ प्रमत्तं जनमन्तकृत्.
No one is dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, nor is anyone his enemy or friend. But he gives inspiration to those who have not forgotten him and destroys those who have.
यद्भयाद् भाति वातोऽयं सूर्यस्तपति यद्भयात् यद्भयाद् वर्षते देवो भगणो भाति यद्भयात्.
Out of fear of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the wind blows. Out of fear of him, the sun shines. Out of fear of him, the rain pours forth showers. And out of fear of him, the host of heavenly bodies shed their luster.
यद्वनस्पतयो भित्ता लताश्चौषधिभिः सह स्वे स्वे काले भृगिहिनन्ति पुष्पाणि च फलानि च.
Out of fear of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trees, creepers, herbs, and seasonal plants and flowers blossom and fructify, each in its own season.
श्रवन्ति सरितो भीता नोत्सर्पति उद्दधिर्यतः अग्निरिन्धे सगिर्भिर्भूर्नामझति यद्भयात्.
Out of fear of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the rivers flow and the ocean never overflows. Out of fear of him only does fire burn and does the earth with its mountains not sink in the water of the universe.
नभो ददाति स्वसतां पदं यन्नियमाददः लोकं स्वदेहं तनुते महान् सप्तभिरावृतम्.
Subject to the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sky allows outer space to accommodate all the various planets which hold innumerable living entities. The total universal body expands with its 7 coverings under his supreme control.
गुणाभिमानिनो देवाः सर्गादिष्वस्य यद्भयात् वर्तन्तेऽनुयुगं येषां वसः चराचरम्.
Out of fear of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the directing demigods in charge of the modes of material nature carry out the functions of creation, maintenance, and destruction. Everything animate and inanimate within this material world is under their control.
सोनन्तोऽन्ताकरः कालो नादिरादिकृतव्ययः जनं जनेन जनयन् मारयन् मृत्युनान्तकम्. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
The eternal time factor has no beginning and no end. It is the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the maker of the criminal world. It brings about the end of the phenomenal world. It carries on the work of creation by bringing one individual into existence from another. And likewise, it dissolves the universe by destroying even the Lord of Death, Yamraj. Hare Krishna. Thank you to everybody.
Hare Krishna. Well done. Very good reading by both of you. Amazing verses.
So the Lord has time, verses 36 to 45. Yes, the Lord has time. Maitreya Rishi explains the characteristics of time to Vidura in chapter 10 of this canto, and Kapila Deva further expands this while replying to Devahuti's question in text 4 about the nature of time. Causes transformation, another feature of the Lord, those who don't know are afraid, enters everybody's heart, shelter of everyone, master of all masters, causes everyone to die, holds no one dear, inspires those who haven't forgotten time, destroys who have forgotten time, demigods is scared of time, trees produce fruit in the proper season, river and oceans do not overflow, sky provides space for all planets, time unchanging, without beginning but causes birth, without end but causes everyone's end, dissolves the universe, even Yama's death. Hare Krishna, Nitai Gaur Hari. So, and in Bhagavad Gita, it is said that Krishna says, time I am destroyer of the worlds. So Krishna, time represents Krishna, and in this way. And also we understand that everything is under control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Swayam Bhagavan Shri Krishna. As it says in Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. In this way, so everything is under control of Krishna, and it explains so many different details. And a few things we can remind ourselves is there is a bhajan by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Amara jibana sada papirata nahi ko punyera lesha. Parere udvega diyechi je koto diyechi jivera klesha. This bhajan is about self-examination. So it is recommended to sing this bhajan and try to understand and examine ourselves and properly ourselves and practice Krishna consciousness properly. And then also we have to understand the names of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Gauranga Mahaprabhu has 108 names, transcendental names. And a few names, if we can remember and understand the meaning, Gauranga Mahaprabhu's name is Gunagrahi, means one who sees the good qualities in others, Gunagrahi. And another name of Gauranga Mahaprabhu is Adosha means one who doesn't see any fault in others. does not find fault in others. Another name is Saha, means Guru Mahaprabhu is teaching us that we should try to be tolerant and bear all difficulties, distress, and misery. So bearing these transcendental names of Guru Mahaprabhu and understanding as a teaching, we can practice our Krishna consciousness by mercy of Nitai Guranga very nicely. And in conclusion, I would like to say that we have to have this mood of Sharanagati. Manasa deho geho jo kichu mora arpilun tua pade nanda kishora. This bhajan is very instructive and inspiring as well. And in conclusion, I would say, as our eternal prayer goes on, Vishwambhara Vishwera Kalyana. It is our eternal prayer. And I would like to thank all the Vaishnavas and our Dandavat Pranam, and thank you for your prayers for us to get Thank you very much.
And you're sounding good. So well done. Well done getting over
Thank
this
you very much.
challenging time. Yeah, challenging time, but you did well.
Yes, thank you very much.
So well done, well done, well done. And thank you. Very well explained as well. Any questions by anybody? Otherwise, we can stop and continue next. Next week is Monday is Ekadasi. So I think we can continue, and then we'll have the Ekadasi satsang after that at 8 o'clock. So that'll be fine.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Lena, for giving us wonderful darshan.
Thank you. Thank you,
Very
Prabhu.
beautiful.
Thank
Very
you, all
beautiful.
Vaishnavas.
Thank you. Hare
Nitai.
Krishna. Thank you, everybody.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.